Good evening. The Earth is giving things back. A glacier in Switzerland has released 2 climbers missing since the 90s. Poland hosts a team preparing for a tournament 2 years ahead. Brazil maims a stadium for a final still to come. And in West Africa, an outbreak is crossing the line from emergency to something we will all have to answer for. Gaza's under-20 women's football team is training in Poland ahead of the World Cup. The Black Princesses held a 2-hour session with all 18 players currently in camp. Head coach Charles Sampson is leading the preparations. The Polish camp is being used to fine-tune tactics and build team cohesion before the tournament begins. The FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup takes place in 2026. Ghana will be competing against teams from around the world in the youth competition. Ghanaian Times reported this. Israel has killed more than 200 media workers in Gaza. That's according to a piece written by Ahmed Abu Artema, published this week. He argues that Palestinian journalists are being asked to remain neutral while documenting what he calls a genocide. Abu Artema says those living through the violence are best placed to record it. One of the dead was Ahad Midwisha. He worked as a cameraman for Al Jazeera Mubashir. His body was brought to Al-Aqsa Martyrs Hospital in Deir al-Balah in central Gaza in June. This press vest was laid on top of the shroud. Abu Artema says the killings are meant to eliminate witnesses to war crimes. Middle East Eye reported this. 2 bodies have been discovered in the Swiss Alps after a glacier melted. They are the remains of Belgian mountaineers who disappeared more than 30 years ago. The pair went missing in the mountains 3 decades ago. Their bodies have now been recovered from the ice. Climate change has caused glaciers across the Alps to retreat rapidly in recent years. That has revealed the remains of climbers and hikers who vanished in previous decades. The 2 Belgians had been trapped in the frozen glacier since they disappeared. The melting ice finally gave up what it had held for so long. Sky News reported this. Democrats who built their profiles criticizing Donald Trump are struggling to win primary elections. Alexander Vindman lost his Senate primary race in Virginia on Tuesday. He became a national figure after testifying during Trump's first impeachment, but that wasn't enough to carry him to victory. Vindman is just the latest in a series of prominent Trump critics who have stumbled when trying to turn their resistance credentials into electoral success. The pattern suggests that opposing the former president, while it may bring attention, doesn't necessarily translate into votes when Democrats are choosing their candidates. Politico reported this. Many of Asia's biggest companies were started by families who still hold enormous power over them. That's creating real problems as these businesses try to modernize and compete globally. The latest example comes from India. Tata Sons, one of the country's largest conglomerates, has just gone through a major leadership change. The shakeup shows how difficult it can be for family-founded giants to break free from their origins. These companies face a choice. They can stick with traditional family control or bring in outside management. Neither path is simple. The tensions play out differently across the region, but the basic challenge remains the same. Founding families shaped these businesses. Now those same families may be holding them back. WSJ World reported this. The FBI says it has stopped a woman who planned to bomb New York's Capitol building. She bought materials and watched the site for weeks. In Texas and Iowa, the governor's races have shifted. A nonpartisan tracker now gives Democrats better odds in both. The FBI says it has stopped a plot to bomb the New York Capitol building. A 35-year-old woman is suspected of planning the attack. Investigators say she bought materials to make a bomb. She also spent weeks watching the Capitol building. The FBI believes she was working with ISIS. The woman has been arrested. No one was hurt in the operation. Independent reported this. Democrats have a better shot at winning the governor's races in Texas and Iowa. That's according to new ratings released Thursday by the Cook Political Report, a nonpartisan group that tracks elections. The report's Senate and Governor's editor is Jessica Taylor. She wrote that the Democratic nominee in Texas, State Representative Gina Hinojosa, is running a surprisingly competitive campaign against the incumbent governor. Cook Political shifted its ratings for both states in favor of the Democrats. The group analyzes races across the country and publishes forecasts about which party is likely to win. The Hill reported this. The Women's World Cup final will be played at one of football's most famous venues. Brazil's Maracanã Stadium will host both the opening match and the final of the 2027 tournament. FIFA made the announcement on Thursday. The Maracanã is a legendary ground in Rio de Janeiro. It has hosted two men's World Cup finals in 1950 and 2014. Now it will stage the biggest match in women's football. Brazil is hosting the tournament jointly with its neighbors. The final will be played in Rio. ESPN Soccer reported this. Orbital data centers could create an entirely new kind of electronic waste. SpaceX is developing the technology to put computer servers in space. The concept has been described as resembling asteroid mining in reverse. Instead of bringing valuable materials back to Earth, these facilities would eventually burn up in the atmosphere. That's being called yeet cycling by some observers. The servers would need regular replacement as technology advances. Each refresh cycle would send more equipment into orbit, only to be destroyed later. This approach raises questions about waste that previous space operations haven't faced. Traditional satellites are built to last for years or decades. Data centers need frequent hardware updates to stay competitive. The environmental impact of repeatedly launching and disposing of server equipment remains unclear. Ars Technica reported this. Africa's Ebola outbreak is getting worse. The fatality rate has now climbed above 46%. Health systems in the affected areas are coming under increasing pressure. The outbreak is showing several characteristics that experts say could warrant its escalation to pandemic emergency status. That would mark a significant shift in how the international community responds to the crisis. The disease has already killed nearly half of those infected. Medical facilities are struggling to cope with the growing number of cases. Nairametrics reported this.